on your left, glasses and all, and Brennan DeCandio can get the job done here against Derrick Roper, Black-Green Delirium, Green-White Tokens. Both these players 7-0. They've been given the green light, and away we shall go. DeCandio will start off with an Evolving Wilds.
A well-mannered introvert, much like Spider-Man.
Yeah, correct.
A lot of parallels.
Correct. It's a fortified village now north of Nissa. Top couple of cards here. Oh, it's the Green Ponder.
Green Ponder.
Yeah.
Green Ponder.
Yeah, he's going to shuffle with it.
Yep.
That's what he's going to do, right?
And then leave the other 2 cards on top.
Yeah. It's
okay. People gotta,
you know, same card.
People just have to say things. Yeah. You know this. You produce content for a living.
Am I in the say thing business?
You are in the wake up, and you know what? It's just been a few minutes since I've said something. I gotta say something.
Yeah. Forrest, the selection here for Derrick. I don't know. I just felt like saying something.
Yeah, it just felt like time.
I don't know if it's right, wrong. Who cares?
Look down on my phone, and it was 18 hours since I shouted into the void. I just felt it was time.
Let it rip.
Yep.
Brennan going to play a traverse, search up a land, and pass the turn.
Green
back
demonic tutor.
Yeah. Basically, the same card. Here's Lamhole Pacifist. That's a single color Watch Wolf.
Yes.
That's what that is. Now here's Liliana. Gonna plus there. Pacifists can't attack unless you control a creature with power 4 or greater. And as you mentioned, combo with the Green God.
Because,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah. Liliana, the last taupe, gonna start ticking on up. Right now, Lamhole Pacifist, just a 1-power creature. So we'll see what Derrick Roper can put together. Up Plains. And now, Rishkar. So counter here, and counter there. And DeCandio already looking to untap.
Yep, neither creature at 4 power here, so no attacks to be had.
Mm-hmm. And now he'll untap. Hissing Quagmire, the draw here for Brennan. 2 cards in the graveyard, a sorcery and a land, so halfway home for Delirium. And here is Grasp of Darkness to take care of Rishkar. Liliana's going to go up on Lamhole Pacifist. And to the slaughter accidentally revealed, Hissing Quagmire the play.
And that's a rough one to reveal here because Roper with Nissa in hand.
And generally the Planeswalker turn. There's a Plains.
You would, in theory, have Liliana to answer the token, and then to the slaughter to answer everything else.
A couple of knuckleheads here in Sylvan Advocates. And we're going to head back over to DeCandio, who will now draw a card. Hissing Quagmire, the draw. See what comes next here for Brennan.
Well, he has enough. The problem with the plussing the Liliana here is if Roper untaps and just plays any 4-power creature, then suddenly your Liliana's dead. So you can minus the Liliana and hope, or you can just play your Ishkana here without Delirium. I think he just willing to roll the dice here to hit Delirium. That is perfect.
Yeah.
Because that is both a 4th card. That's like so perfect. It is the 4th card type in the graveyard plus a valuable creature to hit.
Yeah.
I like DeCandio rolling the dice here because in the worst case scenario, even if you miss, you can just still play your Ishkana as a 3/5 and it's okay here. You might get another shot with the Liliana. Flipping over Walking Ballista plus Liliana, just
Yeah,
that is how you draw it up.
in addition to Liliana, which you don't really want to draw anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, that is how you do it.
Yep. Now Ishkana is here with Delirium, and these spiders are going to gum things up, protect Liliana, and Brennan can start working his way into the mid game now.
Yep. With a Walking Ballista.
Yeah, very true. Roper will play an Oath. Take a look at the top couple of cards. Rishkar, Heart of Kiran, and I believe a land in Canopy Vista. Now Derrick will get a good look at his hand, try to figure out what he wants to take. But DeCandio off, yes, to a beautiful start. No argument there. Gonna select Rishkar. And now here's Nissa.
And a good spot for Tula Slaughter here.
Indeed. Roper's going to plus Nissa. There's the 0-1 plant. I think Liliana will be taking care of that soon enough. DeCandio will draw Vessel of Nascency.
Telling there that Roper there played a Scatter Grove, indicating that he has some expensive plays in the deck.
Okay. There's to the Slaughter. Yeah, Scatter Grove, the new cycling land. Looks a lot like Canopy Vista, too. That happens a lot with those dual lands, though. There's a Hissing Quagmire, there's Vessel of Nascency, and pass the turn back. So another good exchange there for DeCandio.
Not a great performance there by Lambhole Pacifist.
No.
Showed up on 2,
No.
got a risk card counter, didn't attack or block once, and then died.
Yeah. Tough go of it.
Yeah, it's a,
There's another game,
right.
potentially 2 more, to really shape it up. Three mana. Might be rich card time. Keep in mind, 6 lands on the battlefield here for Derrick Roper, so Advocate is a 4/5. Potentially becoming a 5/6. The follow-up, Nissa. All right. Wonder if it's going up or down. Looks like it's going to go down. Spread the +1/+1 counters around. And in with at least 1 Advocate, maybe more than that.
Yeah, it's nice insofar as it gets the Rishkar out of Walking Ballista range as well.
Mm-hmm. Double chump. DeCandio will draw. Can he beat these very large green creatures is the question. Now, if that's Noxious Gearhulk, the answer is yes, and it is. So Noxious Gearhulk is going to take care of Sylvan Advocate. Liliana is going to go up. And what gets really tough here is that every time Noxious Gearhulk dies, it's probably coming back.
Yep. So now this is Moat on top of Flame Tongue.
Yeah.
It's a tough combo of cards for a ground pounder deck to beat.
Yeah. Oh, well, this plant ought to sure things up. Spinning around. Nissa going to crank out a plant. And, okay.
Okay.
Cast out's not bad. Cast out's not bad. I can get behind that. Now, do you want to cast out that as opposed to Noxious Gearhulk? I think you'd rather cast out the Walker.
I think that the Liliana gives DeCandio way too much control over the shape of the game. The Gearhulk's problematic, but at least now at this point, if Roper kills the Noxious Gearhulk, then life just goes on. It's fine.
Oh, Noxious Gearhulk getting a little aggressive, huh? All right. Beat down a clock? It's got Menace, so you got a double block if you want to block it.
I mean, blocking with plant token plus Sylvan Advocate feels pretty safe to me. He does know about the Walking Ballista.
Yeah, that's the concern, because right now, that's a 5/6 Advocate.
Yep.
DeCandio can play Walking Ballista for 3, remove 2 counters, kill that, and then start working his way towards Nissa as well.
But I mean, if DeCandio's attacking the Nissa here anyway, then how else are you supposed to block?
Yeah. I do like the attack. Puts the opponent at a decision.
Yeah. Roper can't protect the Nissa because there's Walking Ballista in DeCandio's hand plus 6 mana on the table here. So if he's not willing to lose the Sylvan Advocate here, he should just not block.
Vessel of Nascency will reveal a Grim Flayer and Omnixless. Yeah, the rest doesn't matter. He's taking a Planeswalker real quick. And now he'll take care of the Sylvan Advocate. And DeCandio is really starting to run away with this game with his Delirium deck. The Aftermath card, of course, is never to return. And Roper will draw a card for the turn.
And he is just out.
Yeah, he's on E. He's got a Rishkar that's a 4/4 and an 0/1 plant token.
As opposed to some of the other builds we've seen, I think DeCandio, at least game 1, has more Haymakers in his build of Delirium than we've seen most of the other green-black decks so far.
Angel of Sanctions off the top. A card that we saw a little bit earlier in the day, we will take a look at again. It's a new one from Mom and Ken. I'm curious to see just how much of this card we end up seeing. It's got some relevant game text. 5 mana, 3/4, enters the battlefield. Exile target non-land permanent until Angel of Sanctions leaves the battlefield, but then it's gotten Balm. So, gets to come back and do it again. Here comes Noxious Gearhulk. No real good blocks there, so Roper will take 5. The follow-up here for DeCandio, I think, is going to be one of those Walking Ballistas he has in his hand. He has 2 now. He'll play 1. Roper knows about this one. 3 counters on the artifact creature.
It's not that Angel of Sanctions is bad in this spot necessarily, but it can attack because of the Ishkana. And once it dies, yes, Roper can embalm, but DeCandio is going to unlock an Omnixless that's just another Terminate. And even if you embalm again, it's just too much.
Yep.
Too many Terminates, too much card advantage.
DeCandio draws. Remember, he's got another Walking Ballista in hand. He's also got that one on the battlefield. That's a 3/3. Here comes Noxious Gearhulk again, making life very difficult for Derrick Roper. Roper did get off to a nice start this game, but DeCandio bounced back nicely, and it has a lot to do with that Liliana minus.
It just took Roper way too many turns to get to the point where he could attack.
Yeah.
And in fact, I don't even know if it ever happened, really.
It didn't happen with the Pacifist.
Yep.
That's for sure. And you see DeCandio's life total now. He's at 27. He's sitting pretty. The follow-up is a Grim Flayer with the ability to activate Walking Ballista and put a counter on it. Now, all of a sudden, we start working ourselves into a different game, which is, I don't know, maybe I'll machine gun you out with Walking Ballista. Maybe I'll do it with the Spiders. Who knows? But in the meantime, I'm certainly going to keep attacking. That's for sure. Put a counter on the Walking Ballista, Will Brennan. Well, in response, Archangel Avacyn. That's all right.
Yeah, better for DeCandio to get it out of the way now than, inside of combat or when he tries to make a move with a Walking Ballista.
Yep.
I mean, now if he wants to, he can simply shoot down the Angel, Omnixless back, and get Omnixless back and take care of Archangel Avacyn.
The other Angel, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good exchange, and he can do all that before doing that. Put a +1/+1 counter on his Ballista,
right?
So he doesn't even lose that. He can keep that around. So you put a counter, shoot the 1/4. It looks like that's where he is leaning towards. Yes. So kill that. Get Omnixless. Omnixless that. Fatal push this. We are about to be done here.
I think he might need to. Well, if
yeah, he hasn't had anything leave the battlefield.
Well, you can just Ballista Roper for 1.
Or the plant token.
Oh, yeah, the plant,
kill
sorry.
that,
Yep.
push that, kill a U is what he's going to do. Brennan DeCandio is going to win game number 1 here over Derrick Roper. Black-Green Delirium up a game over green-white tokens. Now, that Black-Green game, Black-Green looked impressive.
And Roper there had some really good draw steps, even in some of the turns where he was kind of on the ropes and looked out of it. Angel of Sanctions into Archangel Avacyn, some of the better parts of his curve, but DeCandio, too much control of the battlefield there with Walking Ballista, too much card advantage, too much removal.
Sideboards is where we're going to go because that's where both players are at. I'm going to start with Derrick Roper, who's got 3 Tireless Tracker, 3 Fumigate, 2 Heroic Intervention, 2 Linvala the Preserver, 2 Ajani Unyielding, 2 Forsake the Worldly, 1 Westvale Abbey, a card we haven't seen for a long time. Now, of course, when we think about Market Vehicles, they switch. They want to try to go long against Delirium and Black-Green decks in general. Does Green-White Tokens want to do the same?
I don't think so in this matchup. I definitely would bring in the 3 copies of Tireless Tracker and the Westvale Abbey and the 2 copies of Ajani Unyielding. I think those are all nice cards for the matchup. I think it's dangerous to go to something like the copies of Fumigate here. I think DeCandio just plays that game a lot better. But I do like the cards that are proactive that also generate some card advantage like Tireless Tracker and Ajani Unyielding.
Other side of things here for DeCandio, he's got 2 Never to Return, 2 Appetite for the Natural, 2 Liliana Death's Majesty, 2 Khalidus Trader Aget, 2 Yenni's Expertise, 2 Lost Legacy, and another Manglehorn, a Scarab Feast, and his own Tireless Tracker.
The Tireless Tracker, the 2 copies of Khalidus, the 2 copies of Liliana, and the 2 copies of Never to Return. I think just removal spells, creatures that card advantage, things that muck up the graveyard, threats that are able to win the game kind of solo. Those kind of cards will be good here.
Well, those are the options there for each player. They'll finish sideboarding, shuffling up, and Derrick Roper will be on the play for game number 2. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about SCG Game Night, the very popular promotion. We want to thank all the stores and the players that do take part in it. And for the month of May, which does begin on Monday, Imperious Perfect is what you can win.
Yeah, you can head over to go.crcgames.com/game night, find the game night closest to you. Every month we send out new kits with pins and tokens for stores that run game night, who then can give them to their players during game night and have a lot of flexibility to run the event however they would like to. We're coming up on May, starting I believe on Monday, and we have just announced the May kit here. It's the Imperious Perfect, and a couple more kits coming down the pipeline here in June. The Murderous Red Carp, and then in July, Goose of St. Traps. Again, go to StarCityGames.com/game night. Find the game night closest to you. Stores, if you want to get us signed up for game night, contact your Star City Games in-store play representative.
Game number 2 about to be underway here between Brennan DeCandio and Derrick Roper. Black-Green Delirium, Green-White Tokens. But Patrick, I have a question here from the old Twitter sphere that it must be answered.
Yep, they all do.
We are curious about your thoughts on the Unicorn Frappuccino at Starbucks.
I totally miss this controversy. That is one of the nice things about getting into your mid-30s, you know, with a career and kids and whatever. Things like this, you see it, and I look at it, and I'm like, I do not want to know what this is. People seem pretty heated about it, don't care. I didn't engage. I saw it. When I saw Unicorn Frappuccino, I know that's a thing that happened, but I totally missed it. I have no idea what the controversy was or is, if it is still ongoing, who won. I don't know. I don't know any of it. But you can talk to me about it. Let me know what is going on.
It's just it's a novelty frap.
Okay.
Novelty frap. Some people were totally into it. Some people not a big fan.
Okay, and because of this, therefore what?
Like, well, there are more novelty fraps on the way.
Okay.
So this is a niche market here. Apparently, quote, after the success of the Unicorn Frappuccino, Starbucks is about to go cray on novelty fraps. Perhaps I should ask you about your thoughts on the word cray.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is just death of Western civilization stuff right here. Just Starbucks is going cray with their various boutique frappuccinos, and people care in either direction. And we are doomed.
There might be more pressing matters at hand.
Yeah.
Tough to say. You'll never catch me. Now, I obviously live in Seattle, where there are a lot of Starbucks. I've seen many a Unicorn frap.
Sure.
It's not a good look.
Just as
not a good look.
So below the bar for a thing to care about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But people got to find something to be upset about.
I guess.
One day it's Felidar Guardian. The next day it's Unicorn Fraps. Who knows what happens next week?
I think it's fine for people to be upset about Felidar Guardian. That was stupid. That affected people's quality of life and was stupid and easily preventable. That's a fine thing to be upset about.
The Unicorn Frap is going to affect your quality of life if you have too many of them, trust me.
But that's one of many things at Starbucks, right?
That's true. That's true. Here's a Tireless Tracker and a land, which means a clue is on the way.
Caffeinated sugar beverages.
The first of its kind.
Yep.
a swamp, a Gonti, Lord of Luxury.
I got to watch firsthand, this was many years ago, but still, firsthand TBS's struggles with the apple fritter. I've seen Starbucks already cause a lot of damage.
The apple fritter?
Yeah.
That doesn't even sound good.
I'm not the target. More and more as time has gone on, I've realized, one, I'm not the target demographic for any number of things.
Okay.
And two, it's my problem. It's not someone else's problem. So
another clue here for Derrick Roper. And he's looking at an Angel of Sanctions. Now, Gonti, I believe, picked up the green god, Aronis, there for Brennan DeCandio. There's 3 lands and Aronis that the Lord of Luxury got to select from. Here comes the Tireless Tracker.
This is the fastest block.
Cannot block fast enough with my Death Touch creature. And you can see Roper has gone big. Here's Nissa. He does have a copy of Unjanian Yielding in hand. And there is also a copy of Angel Sanction still in the deck. That's in his hand as well. Make another plant token. Enough mana to crack a clue. Pass the turn back over to Brennan, who's picked up a copy of Grim Flayer. He'll play an Ob Nixilis. And not a lot to do with it, so he's just going to gain a card and lose a life. And then pass the turn.
I really like that DeCandio here is just sided into, he's got 2 copies of Never to Return in the main deck, 2 more in the sideboard. And I like that in part because there's so many matchups like this one where I don't exactly know what my opponent's going to be sideboarding in. There's a range of creatures and planeswalkers, but they're all going to be big card advantage creatures or planeswalkers. And having a clean, versatile answer to all my opponent's sideboard cards here is great. You know, Roper gets to play Najani, spin it once. Play the Angel Sanctions, that's no good here.
Yep. Might be time for Rishkar. Looks like looks like there was a little confusion. There isn't anymore.
I think Roper might have just been saying, is there some way for me to finish off this turn? The Ob Nixilis.
Sure.
I don't believe so.
I do not believe so either.
Gets 2 from the Rishkar, 2 from the Nissa.
Mm-hmm. So Ob Nixilis down to 2, which is actually a pretty important number because they can't kill something now.
Yep.
DeCandio will draw. He's in some trouble. Blooming Marsh the draw to go along with a couple more lands. Ob Nixilis up to 3. Lose a life, draw a card. Walking Ballista. We've seen that card get Brennan out of trouble so many times here in 2017.
This is going to be a tough spot for it, though. Roper has very easily outsized his creatures beyond the range of Walking Ballista to be able to provide much in the way of defense. There's definitely a time of my life where I would have had a passionate opinion one way or the other about a Unicorn Frappuccino.
It just hurts to say Unicorn Frap.
I think the ship sailed with Frappuccino.
Well, this whole unicorn fad is just, I don't get it.
I didn't even know that was a fad that was happening.
It is.
I feel like people live in an entirely different reality than I do. Do you get that feeling ever?
All the time. All the time. Here is Walking Ballista for 2. Like every day. At first I thought I was responsible, but I don't anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. Time for Roper to draw. He's got quite the battlefield presence right now, and Aronis could even start coming into the red zone here.
It's not quite ready to go. He's either got to commit mana or commit the Nissa to be able to get up to 4 power, but he's got a lot of routes to do it here.
Getting pretty darn close, that's for sure. Aronis, one of the, I still think, even though it hasn't been that impressive this weekend, I still think that's one of the more impactful cards this weekend.
I think it's the best of the bunch.
I
on
definitely think
rate.
that, yeah. And ability to turn on All the creatures are going to get counters here. Baroness is on now. Now Roper's just got to try to figure out how to attack. I'm thinking everything is clear for takeoff. It's just does something want to go after Ob Nixilis here? That's the big question. It looks like it's going to be a 2-2 split. So there is the block. Walking Bliss is going to do some damage upstairs. I think we might have a push to kill Rishkar to leave Ob Nixilis alive. So that's a pretty good exchange. And now another push to kill a token makes it a better exchange. But I got some bad news here for Brennan, I think.
I mean, he's not out of the woods yet by a long shot, and seems unlikely that he'll be able to contain the god for the duration of the game too. Just too much mana, a lot of size on the battlefield.
Thought we might see a Johnny Unyielding post-combat. Now I think we will. And I love this. Empty board, start revealing and drawing some cards. Tireless Tracker, another copy of Johnny Unyielding. One's already going to be tough enough. I'll be shocked if Brendan can overcome the second one if we ever get to that point. He'll start by plussing Ob Nixilis. He'll draw a card. Grim Flare among the cards in hand here for DeCandio. He'll play a Swamp for the turn. And it looks like maybe he's just got 2 Grim Flares and 2 lands. And as good as Grim Flare can be sometimes, I don't think it's good enough in this game.
No, I mean,
yeah, and he agrees. He is out of here.
Letting that one go.
Yep. He is behind as can be. So Derrick Roper going to win game number 2 here against Brennan DeCandio. Green-white tokens, black-green Delirium getting ready here for a 3rd and final one. And this is, you know, to see the Ajani's and stuff like that, not much of a surprise. I think people like to try to go over the top of black-green decks, and Ajani is a card that allows you to do that, along with some other cards hanging out in Roper's sideboard. Yeah,
and part of the reason I don't like going to Fumigate is I think that Roper getting ahead on the table, being a little bit bigger with all of his homing effects, and then winning the game with Ajani is much more effective of a strategy than trying to like do the Fumigate dance and commit enough to make DeCandio commit more than enough to Fumigate and then win with the leftovers. I'm not a huge fan of that fan, but it does become more attractive on the draw.
Well, these players are going to go back to the sideboard here, and while they take the moment to do that, first of all, Brennan DeCandio will be on the play here for game number 3. See if he moves on to 8-0, or if it will be Derrick and Roper. That is 8-0 with his green-white token stack. But as we have mentioned multiple times during this broadcast, and we will continue to today and tomorrow, Grand Prix Richmond, hosted by Star City Games, is next week, and it's Amonkhet Limited. It's got John Avon and a whole bunch more. Jeremy Knoll going to tell you more about it right now.
On May 5th through the 7th, make plans to be part of Magic the Gathering history when StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Richmond. Play in the Amonkhet Limited format main event to compete for thousands of dollars in prizes and a spot on the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour. Select the 3-day Infinite Challenge package to compete in all challenge events for one low price, while also walking away with the exclusive Glory Bound Initiate playmat. All Friday challenges are also Grand Prix trials. Come out early and compete for buys in the main event and more chances to claim a Glory Bound Initiate playmat. Prefer 100-card formats? Register for the Ultimate Commander package to play in 4 Commander on-demand events and take home a Commander vs. playmat and Ultimate Guard Boulder deck case. Want to play on Magic's grandest stage? Compete in the Pro Tour qualifier on Sunday and receive a Progenitus Foil promo card just for playing, plus the chance for an invitation to Pro Tour Hour of Devastation in Kyoto, Japan. And don't forget to come say hello to Grand Prix Richmond's many special guests, including cosplayer Vanessa Martin and an artist alley full of fan favorites headlined by guest of honor John Avon. Be part of Magic the Gathering history. Register for Grand Prix Richmond today.
StarCityGames.com/GP Richmond for more information. May 5th through the 7th. Hopefully we'll see you in the River City next weekend for a little Amonkhet Limited. Meet John Avon, get some cards signed, have some fun. And hey, playing that Sunday PTQ. Kicking it old school.
Sort of.
In a way.
Those are the 8 flights, and you had to win a 32-person flight, and then there's a top 8.
Yeah, that's the way you can do it.
Yeah. So not quite old school. You're not crammed into the the basement of the Westchester. I don't even remember where it was. Horrible hotel.
My PTQ playing career, I was never crammed in any like unreasonable spots. Maybe I got really lucky.
Yep.
PTQ scenes were plenty of space, honestly.
I did not have that experience.
Yeah, the PTQs I played in during my teenage years and early 20s, plenty of space.
People know the Jersey PTQs, and people who know the Orange County PTQs know
you're stuffed. Yeah,
we were stuffed.
All right. Grim Flayer is where DeCandio is going to start, and this is fortunate for him because he gets to get in here, doesn't have to worry about a single thing. He's on the play, he gets to hit, he gets to set it up.
And Grim Flayer, so important just kind of naturally in the matchup, getting to the little area and setting up his draws, but also having some pressure here gives Roper a lot less setup time, takes a lot of sting out of the more expensive cards he's boarded in, and makes it much harder for him to get to his Planeswalker. So even setting aside the attacking, the delirium, the agency over the draw step, it just takes so much pressure off of the Planeswalkers from DeCandio's side.
Yeah, it's nice that Grim Flayer has trample too.
Yep.
That also plays a role.
Someone trying to finagle a bunch of tokens, potentially.
Yeah. Here's Liliana, plus it and pass. Over to Roper. Roper will draw. There's Ronus, which is, well, it's there.
Observing.
For now. Walking amongst the people.
Yeah.
As the gods do in Amonkhet.
More like the Watcher from the Fantastic Four than a god. Just, I'm not here to interfere. There might come a point where I can't help myself, but I'm here mostly just to kind of hang out and look.
Yep. Another hit with the flare, and now Brennan will continue doing his thing.
Strict non-intervention policy.
Just hanging out with his unicorn frap, watching the game.
Sorcery, instant, creature, land. So we're all up.
Tracker, clue. Got it all. Over to Derrick Roper we go. There's Lambhold Pacifist. He's just taking too long to get set up. That's all.
He's playing too many observers of Magic and not enough people who play Magic.
Yeah. It's a lot of setup.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to make the house of cards crumble.
Just
right now.
a lot of looking. Yes. That is good production work right there.
That's good work. A removal spell, Grim Flayer gonna hit again. It's a one-sided affair here in game number 3 between DeCandio and Roper. We had some good back and forth to start. Hissing Quagmire gonna go into the graveyard. Russell gonna stay on top.
The God had one game of being super sweet.
It did.
Awesome in game 2.
Roper will draw. That is going to do it for this particular match. Brennan DeCandio going to win this game and match over Derrick Roper 2-1. Black Green Delirium will take care of green-white tokens. And for Peter Parker, 8-0 could be our 9-0 at the conclusion of the day.
He seems to have this deck down.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Yeah. A lot of success, a lot of week 1 success. Different build than last time in a variety of respects, but